When political tensions reach a boiling point, the stakes couldn't be higher. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has ignited a fiery legal battle by seeking a court order to remove Democratic legislator Gene Wu from office. This bold move comes amid a dramatic standoff over redistricting plans that could reshape the balance of power in Congress. And here's where it gets controversial. Abbott isn't just targeting Wu. He's aiming to oust dozens of Democrats who fled the state to block the approval of a new voting map. But can he really pull this off? Let's dive into the details and explore why this fight is capturing national attention. At the heart of the issue is a deeply polarizing proposal to redraw electoral boundaries in Texas. The revised map would create 5 additional Republican-leaning seats in the U.S. House of Representatives, a move that could tip the scales in Washington, D.C., where Republicans currently hold a razor-thin majority. Gerrymandering, manipulating district lines for political advantage, is nothing new. Both major parties have engaged in it over the years. However, what makes this situation unusual is the timing. Typically, states redraw their maps every decade following the U.S. Census. Texas last updated its congressional districts in 2021 after the 2020 census, so another round of redistricting now feels premature to many observers. Yet, Governor Abbott insists that the changes are necessary, framing the Democrats' resistance as an abandonment of duty. Abbott's lawsuit, filed with the Texas Supreme Court, singles out Gene Wu, calling him the ringleader of a plot to hijack state government. He argues that leaving the state to prevent legislative action constitutes dereliction of duty, warranting removal from office. To bolster his case, Abbott draws an analogy familiar to most workers. Most people who repeatedly fail to show up for work get fired. Public servants must be held to the same standard. The governor is asking the court to grant a writ of quo warranto, a rarely used legal mechanism, to strip Wu of his position. Quo warranto challenges whether a person legally holds public office, making it a potent tool in this high-stakes showdown. But here's the twist. The Texas Supreme Court itself is entirely composed of Republican justices, including the Chief Justice, who once served as Abbott's general counsel. Some critics argue that this dynamic raises questions about impartiality. Meanwhile, Attorney General Ken Paxton is pursuing a parallel effort to declare the absent Democrats' seats vacant. However, Paxton acknowledges that the path forward won't be easy. Each lawmaker would require a separate lawsuit filed in their respective counties, some of which lean Democratic, a hurdle that complicates the process. For their part, the Democrats aren't backing down. They argue that denying a quorum is not an act of abandonment, but rather a principled stand to protect democracy. Gene Wu, chairman of the Texas House Democratic Caucus, accused Abbott of attempting to silence dissent by removing elected officials. In Wu's view, staying away from the vote aligns with his constitutional duty to avoid enabling policies he believes undermine fair representation. Speaking from Chicago, Texas Democrat Ana Maria Rodriguez Ramos echoed this sentiment, emphasizing that breaking quorum is one of the few tools available to safeguard democratic values. The drama doesn't stop at Texas's borders. President Donald Trump has weighed in, urging Texas Republicans to push forward with the redistricting plan. During a White House event, Trump suggested that the FBI might assist in locating and arresting the fleeing lawmakers. His remarks underscored the national significance of this local battle, especially as Republicans eye gains ahead of next year's midterm elections. Trump boasted about his record-breaking performance in Texas during the previous election cycle, asserting that the state is entitled to 5 more Republican-leaning seats. And this is the part most people miss. The ripple effects of this conflict extend far beyond Texas. Democrats in other states are already preparing retaliatory measures. For instance, California Democrats are considering reshaping their own district maps to eliminate 5 Republican-held seats, a move that would require voter approval. Similarly, Wisconsin Democrats recently filed lawsuits challenging existing district boundaries. Even New York's Democratic governor wants to join the fray, though amending the state constitution would be required to make such changes. Meanwhile, Republican governors in Florida and Missouri have signaled openness to redrawing congressional maps in their favor. Ohio offers yet another example of how gerrymandering continues to dominate headlines. Republicans there are poised to redraw district lines in a way that could cost Democrats at least 2 seats before the midterms. With so much on the line, it's no wonder this issue has sparked heated debates across party lines. So, what do you think? Is Governor Abbott justified in seeking to remove these lawmakers, or does this represent an overreach of executive power? Should redistricting occur more frequently than once a decade? Or should stricter rules govern the process? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Join the conversation in the comments below.